We are just absolutely thrilled that we have so many of you here. We are going to go ahead and start eating and let you eat and visit, and then after we get quite a few people through the line, we will start with a little bit of what has been planned this evening. Are we all? Okay. Anyway, we're very glad you're here. Dr. Janet Cunningham, thank you for coming. President of our university. Maybe you don't need it. If you are a current faculty member, Tim, I'm going to kill you. See, that unfortunately is a normal statement that I have made for 15 years. If you are a current faculty member of Northwestern or a past faculty and staff member at Northwestern, will you please stand? Thank you all for your service. Mrs. Tammy Brown is our current chair of the Mass Communications Department and my cohort in crime when it comes to the speech theater degree. And thank you, Tammy, also for having the Mass Comm studio open today for the tours. I really appreciate it. Dr. Martin, here you are. Would you please stand? You guys recognize these people right here. Would you all stand? The Bartons, could you guys stand? For those of you who are around, I know you know these people. Rod was a faculty member for a very long time. We're glad you're here. I know there's other people. Please forgive me if I have missed you. Let's start with pizza. Pizza's on both sides. For some reason, I count 1,000,001 sausage, and I don't know why. They told me a while ago when I called in, I'm like, where's my pizza? Well, we've had 2 more additional orders of 90 pizzas. So we might have somebody else's order. I don't know, but enjoy. The Pizza Hut's been wonderful today. They have fed over 800 band students, plus us, and 2 other groups now of 90 that I didn't know about. So Pizza Hut, thank you. But if you wouldn't mind, Rod Murrow, would you lead in prayer real quickly? Would you lead in prayer?
Honestly, I would rather not.
Okay, then I'll do it. I'll do it. Just bow your heads real quickly. Dear God, I thank you for Northwestern, for the people that have come through these doors of Herod Hall for the last 50 years and plus. And I thank you for all the safe travels that people had getting here today, and please give them safe travels as we go home. Again, thank you for your goodness. In your precious name we pray. Amen. Please go for it. Help yourselves. Please eat. There's so much pizza back there, I'm not sure what we're going to do with it. But I would like to say thank you to a few people that have made this evening, or this day, in fact, extremely a great event. First of all, let's see, where is it? John? Hi, would you like to stand? This wonderful gentleman here is the head of our alumni services. We are very thankful for all the free t-shirts and many other things that you have done for us today. I'd like to quickly thank the committee, which is Angela Case, Valerie Case, Morgan Biaggi, one of our current students, Chloe Nutley, one of our current students, and Crosby Dunbar. And then those who assisted in all of this setup, Shauna Gilbert, Amanda Metcalf, Rita Castleberry, Tom Mason, and Mickey Jordan, Tori Hurley, Allie Gavitt, Katie Hart, Zach Frishy, and Nicholas Weigel. They helped in a variety of ways, whether it was with the tours today or keeping the costume shop open. I think, again, Tammy, thank you for making sure that the mass comm area was open. Wanted to thank Kyle Larson, I don't think he's here, who the new to us visual arts degree instructor, who also had the studios open this morning. Special thanks to Student Services, NWSU Alumni Association, NWSU Bookstore, and University Relations for their door prizes. You all hopefully receive tickets, and they are going to give you some door prizes. Angela again and Valerie have commandeered that. I'd like to say one thing, somewhat serious, and then I know the rest of the night probably is not going to be. But I'd like to recognize someone that has become extremely important to the Northwestern Theatre. And Mr. Donovan Reichenberger, some of you recognize that name, taught history here at Northwestern for 25 years. About 10 years ago, the Fine Arts Department had a back-to-school get-together. I met Donovan for the very first time. I encouraged him to come to a play. He said to me in a kind of gruff voice, and I've never heard him be gruff since then, "Well, you never start on time." Well, that took me back because that is personally a very big pet peeve of mine, to start on time. And I said, "Well, please come to a production, and I promise you we will start on time." So needless to say, when I saw him walk into the theater one night, I am on the headphone, and I say to the stage manager, "I don't care what's going on. I don't care if somebody's bleeding. If they're dead, we are opening at 7:30. And they're like, "Okay, but somebody's button just broke." I said, "I don't care. Start." And I was very serious about that. A few weeks later, Donovan called me and asked me about scholarships for theater students. And I said to him, "Well, we have all these wonderful participation scholarships, and we do have the Maud Drake Bingham Foundation Scholarship." A few weeks later, Donovan donated, and he'll probably be upset with me, but that's okay. He's not here. He wanted to come tonight, he just wasn't feeling very well. Donovan donated $50,000 to create a scholarship honoring Dr. Stewart and myself, and it's called the Stewart Weast Theater Scholarship. He also created another scholarship using foundation scholarship monies that weren't designated. And that is another scholarship that came from his creativity. Later on, he gave another $50,000 to create the Reichenberger Globe Scholarship. Donovan has also now created 2 endowed chairs for theater, as well as donating additional funds. In the last years, Donovan has given over $543,600 to the future students and theater faculty of Northwestern. He has numerous other scholarships and endowed chairs in the music department, in the history department, and let me tell you one thing he keeps telling me. I'm like, "Donovan, how have you done this? You taught at Northwestern." And he says, Kimberly, I never made more than $25,000 a year. And I'm like, okay. And he said, I bought Coca-Cola stock back when Coca-Cola was just getting started. And so he and his brother both, and many other stocks, but that's how. And so then every time I tell him thank you, he said, well, Kimberly, people are lining up to give money to the athletics. They need to line up for the fine arts. With the interest from his endowed theater chairs, we have guest artists who have come in for the last 7 or 8 years from all over the nation. In fact, we have one of our alumni here tonight, Grant Bowen, who's now living in Seattle, Washington, who will be working with our theater students this next week as a guest scenic designer due to Donovan's generosity. I'm sorry, very sorry he wasn't able to attend, but I would like for you to do one thing. If you think, whether you're a music major or a theater student, if you think you received a scholarship at one point from one of the many Donovan monies, would you stand up? Yeah. And there's many that aren't here tonight. Up here we have the Dr. Linda Stewart Shining Star Award. Do you remember when that was given out? I want to see how many people are here. Tom Mason, if you're here, Rita Castleberry, Amanda Geringer, Nick Brott, Grant Bowen, Brooke Weiss, Ashley Ottensmeyer, Lisa Brott, Charlie Burns, Ashley Walker, Alyssa Hall, Lauren Weiss. And the last 3 I know are working professionally in the entertainment business: Talisha McDonald, Jordan Lyles, and Micah Roberts. And again, thank you all for being the leaders in our program over the years. Thank you for coming, and I would like to turn it over to the 3 MCs tonight, which makes me rather nervous. Tom Mason, Robert Yoakum, and Louis Mize.
I need my vodka close by right there. Older children, I'm so sorry. I am so happy to be back at Northwestern. I am Robert Yoakum, as she said, and I graduated in 1979. As I was walking into this room, seeing some of the faces back here at these tables back here, I had floods, the memories just flood across me. So many times I was on stage with some of these people. I do with the audience, I do as faculty at Northwestern. I spend lots of time with you guys. And I want to tell the students that are here, that are current students, what I learned from Dr. Linda Stewart, who's a dear friend, and I don't get to see her as much, is that what you learn and what they put inside you never goes away. I don't care what you're going to be doing for the rest of your life. If you're in sales like I am, there are those days that you wake up, maybe you've lost a loved one, you don't feel well. Those things that you learn to do, that's what you call upon when you're in those situations. Meeting with my customers, some of them are here tonight at Northwestern. Meeting with them and something's wrong in your life, you act your way through it. It's not that you don't care about what's going on with that person, but you have to do some implementation and get through that. So everything that you learn from Weast and from this young lady here, it's going to be in you, and even if you don't even realize it, it's going to come out whenever you need it. It's just something that's ingrained in you. Sometimes people used to ask me, don't you feel vain being on stage? And I said, no, not at all. If the thought of walking up on a stage is something that you feel inside, something that's just in your nature. then that's what you need to do. If it's in there, and it never goes away. When I was asked to do this, I thought, I can do this. It would be great because my friends in the audience, they're all fellow theater students and faculty. This is just something that you like to do. There's no vanity about it. It's in your gut, it's in your soul, it's in your heart, and that's what you need to do to satisfy that. Since graduating from here, I did a little theater work, a little bit in Oklahoma City, and I had a friend, Shirley. She and I did little shows for people, and we did birthday parties and graduation parties and retirement parties and things like that. And for years and years and years, I've been into beauty pageants all over the United States. And trust me, your acting skills and things you learn come in handy, especially when you get that card and you see who won it, and you're thinking, I've got to smile and think, how in the heck did she win? And you smile, and you go on and call out her name. Anyway, I'm so thankful to be here and see all of you guys. It's been wonderful spending time. I haven't known Kimberly Weast all that long, but I know from my meetings with her and my affiliation with her over the last several years, she has a heart and soul for this university and for her students and everything that she does. And I'm happy to call you my friend also. And I'm so proud that what I feel like so many of us started, Rod and Delbo, Trudy, and all of us that are here, that what we did is just carried on, and it's a beautiful thing. So thank you so much for letting me be a part. Before we get started this evening, I'd like to acknowledge the passing of a member of our Northwestern speech family. Mr. Bob Martin, retired speech and mass communications professor, passed away earlier this week. He spent a number of years working with Dr. Lynn Stewart and Mr. Johnny Barton in the speech department. We know that many of you had the opportunity to study with Mr. Barton, and we just want to take the time to honor him and all of our other actor friends who have left this earth that we care so much about. I would like for us to all, in their memory, have a moment of silence. Thank you. We miss them so much, don't we, every single day. And now before we get started with everything that's going to go on, I'd like to ask my fellow theater alums to come up, Tom Mason and Louis Mize. They're going to join me here at the podium so they can tell you a little bit about themselves.
Somebody's got jokes. Maybe he'll come back when he gets money. He's that age before beauty. For those of you, there are a lot of faces I do recognize out there, and to you, hello, it's been a long time, and some of you, I'm like, who are you? I will say that I've heard a lot of stories about many of you that were prior to when I was here. I was here in 2000 with my undergraduate in speech and drama, and in 2002 with a Master's of Education. And I now, having put some names and faces together, understand why we couldn't do some of the things that you did. Doc wouldn't allow us to. So good to know, good to know. I agree completely with what Robert said. Everything that I learned while here in theater specifically, I'm not in theater now. I do some community theater here and there, but I'm now an administrator at a skilled nursing facility. And I use a lot of the techniques with my residents and a lot of the concepts in that field just as much as I did when I was here on stage. And I think it's important that we understand that, that a lot of the skill sets that we learned from these two women are not limited to the stage as we know it in a theater, and I think you all know that. It's the stage of life, and I think that's a pretty amazing thing. So I just want to say personally thank you to both of you for everything that you've done. I think it's pretty amazing. So with that, Louis. Thanks.
Sorry. My name is Louis Mize, class of 08. So I'm the newbie of the group, so to speak. I've already made it up all checks. Let's not be bad. Sorry. I do want to say that obviously I agree with all them. The skills that we learn here affect us in life and help us to be better human beings. I would not be the man I am. I'm not going to cry. I would not be the man I am without Kimberly Weast. Her constant dedication to making me better, not only as a person, but as an artist, And it's her enthusiasm and passion for the arts that brought it out of me, and I cannot be more thankful. Currently, I'm residing in Wichita, Kansas. For a short time, I was in Dodge City, Kansas, working as the director of housing at Dodge City Community College. Go Conquistadors. Yeah. One of the weirdest mascots of all time, by the way. It was in Dodge City while doing a production of Private Lives by Noel Coward that I met my wonderful wife. So, thanks to theater, I found the love of my life as well. Oh, thank you. And then moved to Wichita because she actually got a job at the Wichita Children's Theatre. And it was closer to my family. And since there, I have gotten the chance to play so many roles that I probably would not have gotten the opportunity, mainly because she pushed me to audition, and I had to fight my fears. But while in Wichita, and I've worked with a lot of professional people, the number one thing they always say to me is, where did you go to school? Because your knowledge, your love, and your passion for theater is amazing. And every time I'm allowed to tell them I went to Northwestern, Oklahoma State University, then they go, where? And so I live in Alva, Oklahoma, and every bio that I put program or playbill, it says I graduated with a BA from Northwestern Oklahoma State University, and I started.
Grandpa's back at the microphone. Thanks a lot for putting me up here. These two young, handsome guys, unlike the old man. I'm so glad you kind of got emotional because I tend to do that a lot. And when you come back to Alva and you see these faces here, you think of the things that we did. It gets really, really emotional. I haven't seen Dr. Stewart in so long, and I think about those times when she would call me off the stage and sit beside me in the auditorium, and she'd just tell me, you need to overact in that part. You need to be more serious there. And you listen to every word that she said, and she would write it down. And you did it, and it worked every single time. And those things mean a lot to me because I learned so much. There are a number of you here tonight who have been students of Kimberly Weast and with Dr. Stewart, and we'd like to see what kind of a mix we have. So if you were one of Dr. Stewart's students, we'd like for you to stand up. Oh, that's great. All right, let's see Kimberly Weast. If you are a current student of theater at Northwestern, let's see all of you guys stand up. All right, what do we have next here? Lewis, I think you're up.
All right. Kimberly Weast joined the university in the fall of 2002 and currently serves as a professor of theater and is the technical director of Harrod Hall Auditorium. She also serves as the chair of Fine Arts Department and leads the Northwest Oklahoma Concert Series program as its executive director. She earned her Bachelor of Science degree from Southwestern Oklahoma State University. In New Weatherford. Earned her Master's in Communication Arts in Theatrical Performance and Television Production from Southwestern Theological Seminary in Fort Worth, Texas. Yeah. And a Master of Fine Arts in Theatrical Directing from Lindenwood University in St. Charles, Missouri. Weast has taught several years in the theater and communication areas. Prior to joining the Northwestern faculty, she held the position of chair of the Communication Arts Department at Hannibal LaGrange College in Hannibal, Missouri, and was head of the Mass Communication Program at Dallas Baptist University in Dallas, Texas. Some of the honors Weast has received while at Northwestern include being named the Oklahoma Speech Theater Communication Association's Collegiate Theater Educator of the Year. I'm so lucky I got to read this. As well as Northwestern's John Sheffield Teacher of the Year, both in 2007. She was named the Northwestern's recipient of the 2009 Oklahoma Higher Education Excellence in Teaching Award, and in 2011 was presented with the Donovan Reichenberger Fundraising Award from the Northwestern Foundation. In 2006, she was honored by the Kennedy Center American College Theater Festival as Region 4's Outstanding Director. And in 2015, the organization honored her with Excellence in Director of Theater Arts. She is a 2009 graduate of the Outstanding Professors Leadership Academy and earned the Oklahoma Innovation in Teaching and Learning Award that same year.
We're just switching it off because we play well with each other, you know. We take turns. So, there's one in every group, you know what I'm saying? Some of the organizations Weast has served include being on the advisory board for the Oklahoma Summer Arts Institute, the board of directors of the Oklahoma Da Vinci Institute, and chair and vice chair of the Oklahoma American College Theater Festival. Weast is a member of the National Theater Association's Alpha Psi Omega, Gamma Delta Kappa Honorary Scholastic Sorority, and the National Scholastic Fraternity Alpha Psi Pi, let's just start over with that. Let's rewind. The National Scholastic Fraternity Alpha Phi Sigma. She also is the faculty sponsor for the Castle Players Drama Club. And just out of curiosity, how many, just by show of hands, have been active in Castle Players over the years? That's amazing. Good job. An honor for both Weast and Dr. Linda Stewart came in 2010 when an anonymous donor endowed the Linda J. Stewart and Kimberly K. Weast Theater Scholar Award to acknowledge the two directors' combined years of dedication to Northwestern Oklahoma State University, which is what we heard about earlier, which again is an amazing feat. So again, congratulations. Let's all give Kimberly Weast a round of applause for her years of service. As for Dr. Linda Stewart, who we all have known as simply Doc, she began her full-time teaching career at Northwestern in 1976, a place she called home for the next 35 years, retiring in May of 2002. The Hazleton, Kansas native began her college career at French University in Wichita, Kansas, as a music major, where she was a first-chair trumpet player. And obviously still got it. She changed her major to psychology while there, but then transferred to Northwestern where she chose to focus on English. At Northwestern is where Doc found her passion in theater while double majoring in English and speech education. She graduated from Northwestern with her bachelor's degree in 1962 and taught high school in Medicine Lodge and Harper, Kansas. Stewart returned to the university in 1963 to earn her master's degree along with her certification in guidance and counseling. She spent the next 2 years splitting her time being a counselor, English, and psychology teacher. She earned her doctorate from Oklahoma State University in 1970.
It's difficult to say how many productions Doc was involved in during her career at Northwestern, along with various high school and community theater opportunities. But in 35 years as a professor at Northwestern, she produced an average of 4 major productions a year, a musical every other year, and performances every time a specific production class was taught. That's impressive. Doc enjoyed teaching her students the mechanics of theater, but also liked performing live on stage with the local community theaters on occasion, whether she was directing a show, or was cast as a nun, or a prostitute. Oh, don't you love typecasting? She also starred in a 1990s comedic cooking show called The Sloppy Sisters, which aired on Northwestern campus TV station. She shared the screen with Cindy Spradnick. Cindy, stand up over here. And on occasion, Dr. Rod Murrow, back here, where are you? Very good. Where the trio portrayed Gladys May, Myrtle May, and Bubba Slapé. Perfect names. Dr. Stewart was honored by the university with a Distinguished Teaching Award in 1985 and the John Sheffield Teacher of the Year Award in 1997. On her retirement, the Castle Players Drama Club established the Dr. Linda Stewart Shining Star Award to be given to an outstanding student within the theater program. It is a fitting time to have Doc back at Northwestern since its homecoming, as she served for many years as the technical director for the Miss Cinderella pageant, as well as serving as the general homecoming chair. This morning you can see how thrilled she was with all those hillbillies on the back of the car. She was leading the Northwestern Homecoming Parade as its parade marshal. Thank you, Doc. That was a lot of fun. Dr. Linda Stewart, Doc, we are so happy to have you home. Let's all give Doc Stewart a round of applause to show her just how much she means to all. But before that, would you like to say anything? Or Dr. Stewart, would you like to say anything before we get some of these clowns up here? Did you bring your trumpet? or your fishnet hose? Have they? Well, it pays to advertise. I have my own thing, so alumni to come up and share a little bit about what the Northwestern Theatre Department meant to her.
I don't know, how do you follow all those jokes? That's just a little, that was a little nervous when you have to follow you, Robert. But I'm prettier than you, so we'll just leave it right on. In some circles. Well, many of you won't know the stories that I'm going to tell, but I started here at Northwestern when I was like in the 2nd or 3rd grade. They were having some sort of classes where one of the professors, and it might have been even before you were here, but the students here taught children how to do drama. And then I kept staying in those classes, and then somewhere along the way, Doc came along. And I got asked to audition as a 7th grader for a play called Wait Until Dark. And I know there's a few people here. And so in 7th grade, I might have been 9th grade, but I was in junior high, so 7th grade, I came up here, and I remember very distinctively learning so much from the people that were in college, and then also how they helped me. And I was telling someone tonight, I was sitting backstage doing homework, and they would help me with my homework, and then I'd run out there, do my part, and run back. And now I see that in the real world, because I'm working with young people, and they're getting cast in professional shows, and how they have to keep up with their homework. So I started that right here at this campus, and then Doc got me involved. But as Robert was saying, oh my gosh, the way Northwestern and the teachers that we have here have really had an impact on my life. So as I'm telling a few of my stories, just think about your own life and think about how it makes you be a star in the community and how the impact you have on other people's lives. You never know when someone's watching you and that they'll look at you and think, oh my God, where did they learn that? How did they learn how to speak? How do they do that? How do they get up in front of people? And we learned it here. So thank you so much for that. But Doc was also the one that told me and gave me the idea of where I should go to graduate school. And I will never forget that. I was looking for a graduate school, and she came and she just sort of threw a paper down in front of me, a brochure, and she said, I saw this man, Paul Baker, at the Dallas Theater Center, and she said, I think that you would connect with him. And two of the people, there's about 3 people that I can say really were mentors in my life. Doc, and then Doc led me to Paul Baker, and then Paul Baker led me on to another mentor that I had. So look at the mentors that you had in your life. 2 of them are sitting right here with us, but you probably have some others, but this is the impact that has really helped me. And it's helped me with my public speaking, my training. I was an actress in Dallas and working director for a long time, but now I'm teaching children. And everything that I teach them, a lot of that creative thought process came from right here at Northwestern, so I'm very glad about that. And Robert said, don't forget to say something about slopping your dripper. And I did a comedy routine of all things for Miss Northwestern and won. And that was probably someone was standing there going, oh my God, I have to put on an acting face and this girl's winning. But it wasn't Robert as the MC, but it was Northwestern that really helped me in that pageant system. And I have believed in that so much that for the past 10 years, I've been the director for the Miss University of Louisville. And it's because of the scholarship that I got here from Northwestern and the training that I got here that made me say, I need to give back. So now I give back to the community that way. So I'm going to leave you with one little thing from the theater world. I work a lot with kids. And so this is going to be your participation. You're going to hate it, but you're going to do it anyway. But I was directing at the Jewish Community Center in Louisville, and I was doing a play, and I had kids in there from first grade all the way through high school in this production that we're doing for Yom HaShoah. And one of the older kids couldn't remember their lines, but all the younger ones knew all of their lines. So the little boy named Roman, he was about 7 years old, he said, oh, Miss Wheeler, he said, I have an idea for these kids on how they can memorize their lines better. And I said, okay, well, Roman, would you like to share that? He said, yes. My father and I came up with a way that I can always feel good about myself and learn my lines. I said, okay. So these are Roman's rules on acting. So you're going to repeat after me. And this is what we do every time I direct a play now. So after me. I believe in myself.
I believe in myself.
I will choose the best way.
I will choose the best way.
If that way doesn't work,
If that way doesn't work,
I'll choose another.
I'll choose another.
I believe in myself.
I believe in myself.
Have a great show.
Have a great show.
And thank you for the great show of my life.
Trudy could have continued to say something, and I'm going to put a feather in your cap here. In the 70s, when Trudy competed in the Miss Oklahoma pageant, they gave an award each year called the Grand Talent Award. And it's the person out of all 50-some contestants who was voted by the judges as having the best overall talent in the Miss Oklahoma pageant. And Trudy Wheeler is the one and only drama student to ever win that Grand Talent Award. Delmo Leach was a former staff member here and a local teacher, superintendent, and my college roommate, and he's going to say a few things.
Initially, I apologize for not reading the fine print of casual. To look around and the only one in the tie, maybe. Kimberly, thank you so much for making this happen tonight. Well, Valerie and Angela again. Thank you so much. This truly does warm my heart. I was at Northwestern. I attended from 74 to 78, which just seems unreal that it was almost 40 years ago. And I began my journey in speech and drama at Cherokee High School, just a little skip here, Cochise. And Cindy and I were classmates. She's a little bit older, not much, but in the 9th grade, I was recruited into speech and drama by my mentor in high school, Evelyn Morehart. And she got me on the road to loving speech and drama. And I decided in the 9th grade that I was going to teach this stuff, that I was going to also be a teacher in speech and drama. And so then I had the opportunity to come to Northwestern. And during my time at Cherokee, I did a lot of competitive speech, but I was never in a play. My dad was a minister, and so we were there for a couple of years, and then we moved away my junior year, which is the junior years when they did the play. Well, I got to come back in November of my junior year, but I already did the play. So I never got to do one in high school. And I came in as a little Southern Baptist boy, very naive, and I was cast. She took the step in the direction of casting me in the play Godspell, my freshman year and first semester. And that was such, and when I look back at that now, I'm, going through that whole process, it was a wonderful experience, and I got to be with some great people. But it wasn't until it was over with that I realized how much of an impact that made in my life. And I was here for 4 years, and then I went and taught. I chose to go into teaching. And I taught speech and debate, and I taught speech and drama in Cherokee, and then I got to come here at Northwestern to be a faculty member. And I had the opportunity to work with John Barton, and I had the opportunity to work with Bob Martin, and I got the opportunity to work with Doc, my mentor. And I just wanted to share with you, I'll keep this real brief. I just wanted to share with you this. I got knowledge base. I got to learn how to direct theater and how to work with competitive speech. But what I learned from Dr. Linda Stewart, and you started this stuff, I learned a compassion for people. She taught me specifically how to treat people. And I hope that in my career that I was able to make an impact with kids. I was a high school speech and debate teacher, and then I went on to be a high school principal, and I was a superintendent of schools. And then I went to work for DHS. I retired a few years ago. Went to work for DHS and worked with Child Protective Services, and I removed children from unsafe homes. But in that whole process, I was able to learn compassion, and I was able to learn that every child mattered. And that's what I took away from Linda Stewart. And I appreciate that, and you have made a total impact in my life the last 40 years. Thank you.
When I came to Northwestern in 1974, I had decided that I was just going to relax in my college career. Because in high school, I did plays, and musicals, and drama, and speech contests, and stage band, and student council, and all that stuff. So when I came to Northwestern, I thought, I'm just going to go to class and just not be involved in anything. Then I met Delbo, and 2 weeks later, I was in a play. So I am so thankful to him for leading me down the way to meet all these terrific people and being a part of this, and I love you with all my heart. I'm going to tell one story, and there's one inappropriate word in this story that I will tell. But I'll never forget that I would spell that word. It's not. It's horrible, actually. But those of you who are in the place, you remember Dr. Stewart sitting, and I know you do this too. Stay in character. Stay in character. We're up on stage. Well, we did the play Heaven Could Wait with my dear friend Mark Betke through the first thing that happened was I had history one time, and the guys all bet me $20, and I couldn't get my TONGUE down their throat. I'll never forget her saying, "What was your tongue doing during that?" So I lost the bet because she clamped those teeth down. But in one particular scene, I was kind of the evil assistant to the guy who was the lead in Heaven Could Wait, and we had a boardroom scene. And we were in the last, we'd done 6 shows. The very last one, I was bound and determined to make those guys, there was a boardroom scene where I came in carrying a portfolio like this, and I said a few words to them, and I did open my portfolio and showed them something in there, some numbers or some statistics or something that we needed to show. And I remember Todd Holden was there, and Wayne Santana was their David friend. I can't remember who else at that table, but they were dead serious and always stayed so perfectly in character. So I thought, I need to write something on the inside of that portfolio. When I open that up, I want them to die. Okay, that was the last performance. So I wrote this word. Well, I walk up and we're in the scene, and I open that portfolio, and their eyes all got big, and their faces turned red, they're about to explode. I wrote the word KOTEX in the... I know, I apologize. Good luck, Stewart. That was one of my favorite things about being in plays. It was my very last play, too. I am bound and determined to make those boys crack just all turned really, really red. It's hilarious. Guys, do you have anybody that would anybody else like to come up and share a story, or? And you can spell things. I apologize, but that was one of the funniest things I've ever done in my life. I ran off that stage, you guys. I ran off that stage because their faces were so swollen. I ran off and I just fell down the floor laughing backstage, and you would have killed me. But it was fun. Are we supposed to give this tonight? This says Dr. Linda Stewart, Honorary Parade Marshal, Northwestern Oklahoma State University, North County, October 1, 2016.
I came to Northwestern in 2010 as a transfer student, and I had all but thought that I wasn't going to be in theater until a friend, Stewart Campbell, just dragged me in one day to FAPS and introduced me to Weast. Said, "This is Weast. You can be in shows, because we did shows all together." And so that fall, I was in my first show here at Northwestern, Nowhere Fast, and I got to be on stage with my professor, which was an amazing experience. And the one thing that I took away from that show is Weast really likes pie. We had homemade pie on that stage every night, wonderful pie, and we were supposed to sing. And she just couldn't get enough of it. So she let us sing our little hymns while she just go on, ate pie. Yeah, we ate pie. But I also ate biscuit, so I miss my lines too. Anyways, there's just been so much about Weast that she's a very humble person, and she's not one to brag. So, she cares very much about all her students, no matter who they are, where they come from, what they're doing, even if they're not in her major. And that's something that's always going to stay with me.
Staying character.
But she's so selfless, and she's selfless to everyone in the world. She goes and volunteers everywhere, and she taught me that, again, you can use your crafts everywhere, and it's something that everyone needs to know. And
I'm going to try not to get emotional. I was getting emotional on the table, okay? I hadn't even gotten up yet. My name is Becky Hankins. I started in 2009, and I graduated in 2011 with a theater minor. When I came to Northwestern, I started in 2007. In 2009, I had the plans of transferring out, and my friend drugged me to this audition for musical. I'm not going to make it. I can't sing one, but whatever. I'll go. Just do it, And so I went, and of course I got cast, and it was Schoolhouse Rock Live. And so I remember the first time Weast got mad at me. After that, I had really long hair, and the night before we opened, I chopped all my hair off to this haircut. And I walked in the hallway of Fine Arts, and everybody goes, "Ooh, what did you do?" And I'm like, "I don't know what you're talking about. I just cut my hair, no big deal." And she said, "Weast is going to kill you." I said, "What are you talking about?" And she didn't get very mad at me. I wasn't a theater major or minor at that time, so not a big deal. So, but basically, from then I was hooked. And then that next fall semester I became a theater minor. So Weast has been a wonderful, wonderful person for me. She put me through some challenging, I'm getting nervous, challenging roles and things like that. My last role was a senior show for a friend of mine, and I played a very abusive mother. And I'm not a mother yet, but never in my mind would I think I would ever be an abusive mother. We were in fact 4 hours trying to get me to be mean to my children in that show. Working on my walk, things like that. You know, it's the coaching that she does, the teaching that she does. I'm gonna try not to be emotional, but she's just a wonderful person. And I was just thinking the other day, health-wise, you know, personality-wise, theater-wise, things like that. I was just thinking the other day, that fall semester I became a theater minor. I started out in junior level classes. Let me point out one thing to you. I was never in theater in high school. We didn't have theater, so I didn't know anything about theater or anything like that. I started out in junior level classes in my first semester as a theater person. And I had to go to the hospital because I got a panic attack and I had to have an EKG. And I just thought about it the other day, I was supposed to pay her back, and that was about 8 years ago, and I don't think I did it. So I apologize. I should probably pay you back. Anyway, I'm really excited to say that at my school, I was really, really proud to tell Weast this. Coming from a person who was never in theater, I recently got assigned at my work. I work at Tulsa Community College, and I am the senior advisor for the Performing Arts Division there. And without Weast, I would never have been able to do that. You're welcome. So Weast is awesome. So all of you youngins, you listen to her, okay?
Yeah, that was stupid to give me mine. My name is Chris Shirley. I was never planned to attend Northwestern. My very best friend was here. Later, we consider her my sister. And 2 weeks prior to me moving to Lubbock to attend Texas Tech as a third-generation Raider, I told my parents, I don't want to go there. And a few choice words later, and a couple checks that never got returned, I became a Ranger. Without out-of-state tuition waivers. So I said, hey, look, it's just the same. You know, it didn't cost you any more or less, so. But my best friend, Ashley Walker, who couldn't be here tonight for personal reasons, she drugged me to Northwestern. And she told me, she said, you need to really try out in the theater department. And I'm like, no, because I'm not an actor. I'm just really mean. and people think I'm kidding. And I'm not. And she said, no. She said, your art ability. You need to meet with her, and you need to see about scholarship options because your grandma's pissed. Because nobody should pay $9,000 a semester for you to go to school. Like, you need some scholarship money for your spring semester. And I'm going, fine. So I remember meeting her, and you're crazy. The minute I met that woman, she was nuts. And I remember she got confused that I was coming in to audition to do paint backdrops and murals and things for her, and try to, you know, they didn't offer an art minor at the time, and so I thought, well, I can use my talents there. And she's like, you go ahead and get on stage and do your monologue. And I'm like, what? Monologue? Nobody died. What are you talking about? So a few choice words later, she decided, oh, wrong kid. So show me your portfolio. And so we began, you know, I started doing some backdrop work for Weast, and doing a lot of art work for Weast, and Chrissy Benson and I got really close. I can remember Charlie Roach, Salmonka, now. We did a lot of stuff in the very back end of the theater. We painted a 100-foot long Vietnam 101 thing that took us about 3 days. I don't know if you remember that, Charlie. You and I would run across to McDonald's and get shakes for each other about every day and finish painting that. That was a fun event. But what Northwestern Theatre taught me is I met my wife, the love of my life, who was in theater. And And Weast is somebody that she's not there just to push you, but she's there to be for personally. And that's something that this department does is it creates relationships that are long lasting. They're lifetime relationships. Some of you may have showed up tonight and not seen somebody in several years, and it doesn't feel like any time has passed at all. Tonight I came with one of my very best friends, TJ Tim Bowman, and he and I have been friends with the theater department for about 6 years now because of Weast and everything that she has done. And so there's not enough words to say thank you for what you do for your students. I can remember when my mom passed, and that was one of the hardest times, and I had long since been gone from Northwestern, and Weast was the first person to call me at 3 o'clock in the morning. And I'll never forget the words that she said, that, I don't have the words to fill your heart right now, but just know that I love you just as if you were my own. And Weast is a mom to a lot of us. Weast takes on that role. We get here and we're scared, and we want to go home real quick. I didn't, because my parents were so mad about the tuition. I'm stuck. Ranger, Raider, whatever, I'm here. I tried to convince them it was the same colors, but anyway, I just wanted to say thank you. And we were going to kind of do a roast tonight, but I've counted the minors, and I can't do that appropriate. So we might have to just wait and do that later. But anyway, thank you again.
I'm Melissa Hall. I'm one of the fortunate ones that got to spend time under Doc and time under Weast. I'm only in my 30s, but I can say that my first show on the Northwestern stage was 27 years ago. So I got to start at Northwestern with a little theater. Grant was a frog in one of those shows with me. I just recently used the recipe for chocolate blood that we learned in children's theater. And then my freshman year was Doc's last year. So I got to do shows in college with Doc. And then Weast came. And so I got to learn a lot of things from both of them. And I got to meet a lot of amazing people. And the thing about theater is it brings together everything. I had somebody in the graduate committee the other day saying, well, I don't see how this can be, I don't see why this is important to be in the American Studies program. And the thing is, theater brings together everything in life. Theater, you have to know history, you have to know English, you have to know music, you have to know construction, you have to know, I'm the costume seamstress and have been for years. But there's so many things that theater brings together. And, all of us have been touched by these two amazing women and Mrs. Broad. Because, my passion for theater was instilled at a young age with Little Theater. And then I went to high school, and Mrs. Broad taught me many things. And then I came back and saw Doc for a little bit, and then I got to meet Weast. And I think it's just wonderful that we're all here together, and we've all had a chance to be touched by two amazing women, and Mrs. Broad. Not me. But, theater is an amazing thing, and it has changed all of us and given us strength, and I just want to acknowledge both of them.
Hello again. This is actually a message from another student that they wanted me to read to Weast. Hello, my name is Christy Benson. I'm a former NWSU theater student. I graduated in 2012. I not only was a student of theater for 3 of my 4 years, but I also worked for the theater as a staff member for 3.5. It may be too late for me to say a few words, but Weast knows that this week has been particularly crazy for me. Hope that I sent this in time for her reunion. Nobody tell her. Kimberly K. Weast has been such an inspiration to me. She is such a strong and passionate educator who has always cared deeply for her students. She is the lady who was there for us when we needed advice or a shoulder to cry on. Her ability to bring out the best talents in her students is inspiration. I have and always will look up to her. She's a truly amazing lady. Weast is the person who inspired me to audition for the theater back when I was in high school. I just blown my knee out playing basketball, so I was awkwardly hobbling along on crutches. Little did I know, when I walked into her office that day, she'd also hurt her knee skiing. She made me feel so comfortable that day, and I didn't even feel the awkwardness of my entire leg in a brace when auditioning for her. I have too many stories to recount here, so I'll keep this short. When I think of NWSU, I think of Weast and the theater department. These are some of the happiest and profound memories that I have. I have met lifelong friends through that program. This theater program helped me to build my skills and achieve many things, such as getting an apprenticeship at the Santa Fe Opera, as well as getting into graduate school for scenic design at Illinois State University. I am now on the road to becoming a successful scenic designer and artist. I owe that to my first experiences in theater at NWSU and to Weast. I hope everyone has a wonderful weekend. Congratulations to Weast and the theater program. Sincerely, Christy Benson.
I'm going to share one quick story, and then we're going to change gears just a little bit with a few people I've talked to from the, we'll call it time frame when I was here.
Era. It was an era.
And thanks, Aaron Hicks. I did not have the opportunity to work with both, unfortunately, but I do wanted to say one quick story. I do have a quick story about Kimberly Weast. I actually was the director of the forensics debate at Cali for about 6 years. And how you doing, fellow tiger? But with that, it was my first time to ever take a group of students to the national conference. It was in Boston, and I had grown so severely ill while I was there. I actually physically couldn't walk, and I knew one person there, and I didn't even really know her, but I knew where she was from, and that was Kimberly Weast. And I was fortunate enough to be able to get a hold of her as a Northwestern contact, and she physically took my students to their competitions because I physically couldn't. And I think that says a testament to the character of the people that we have here, and that we are able to make those relationships in our lives. So I personally, and from the students that got to participate, thank you for that. Now, so I'm going to take the mic around to a couple of people, but we're going to start with a scene. We're going to do scenes. It's fitting, right? It's fitting. So if I can get a couple of individuals that were in the Arsican old days, Aaron and Jesse, to come up. And this actually is a little bit of a piggyback on the same character, which unfortunately did not occur. What happened was we were on stage, and...
Of course I remember the blocking.
Really? You see what I'm doing? I digress. So, Arsican old days, and we're on stage, and it's a pivotal moment, and Aaron was playing. Who were you playing? Aunt Abby. So she had a lot of wrinkles, a big old bun on her head. It was very amusing. And this was not the first night of the show. However, it is important to let you know that there was a critic in the audience that night for the local paper.
For the first time ever, we had never had anybody review one of our plays before, and it was for the school paper.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, some of us were preventing things in our old age.
That's funny. Anyway, so we were in the middle of the scene. Everything was going great, and we'll just pick it up right there. And really, the bun wasn't real. Okay, that's the moral of the story. Stop it. Okay, and I believe the phrase is Donald, go. Trump, go.
You're gonna have to take that last thing back.
Action.
I turn my head to look at him. Okay, without the visual aids, this is really difficult to see. So what happened was, we were like in the middle of this really pivotal scene. He was playing the detective. He was playing Mortimer. They were trying to send me off to the nut house, and I turned my head to look at Jesse, and my bun that was an attachment to my wig fell off.
I got it. Kind of like reflexes. But what do you do with a bun?
Because then it was in his hand. And so this is what happened.
It's a wrap. Not my best improv.
And so I took it and said, "Oh, Mortimer, don't be silly. Didn't you know I wore a falsie?"
guidelines. However, one other point, Diana, how many of you know Diana Friends? Anybody? Great lady. She was actually in that show as well, and we had practiced every night the same where she came down the stairs, looked out the window. However, we changed the setup a little bit. It actually, the night of the show was actually a painting there, and she needed to take move the window off stage. Diana, though, creature of habit, went down to the painting and said, basically,
Well, I don't see him anywhere.
so Aaron, same show, who didn't get in trouble for ad-libbing.
So I said, well, you ninny, Martha, that's because you're looking in a picture again. Go through there and look out the window.
And I said, Christine, but that led to one of the best pieces of acting advice Doc ever gave anybody, and I tell it to my students all the time. Just talk loud and don't bump into the furniture.
Thanks, guys. I want to bring Jody up really quick because we're just going to do just a portion of one of her favorite scenes from one of the show that she did. And take it away.
All right, they told me I had to. So, no, I think that sometimes there are just things that stick with you. And so, I have a bad memory, but this song, always comes to my head. And I want you to imagine Schroeder playing the piano. Do you know something, Schroeder? I think the way you play the piano is nice. Do you know something else? It's always been my dream that I marry a man who plays the piano. At parties he plays something nice like April showers. I know you can play something nice like April showers. Or even Frere Jacques. Beethoven's nice too. Just imagine, wouldn't it be nice if someday you and I could get married?
Did Ross be upset?
Okay. I will say that theater also brought me my husband. I know that there are several out here. So, I know. No, theater also brought me my husband, and I think there are how many relationships did out here? Becky and Brennan and Chris and Aaron and I don't know your names. Hamiltons. Okay. Okay.
Bob and Kimberly.
Bob and Kimberly.
Yes.
Woohoo! My eyes are back there. And in the back.
Darby.
Oh, I see you now. Okay. My eyes are back. So, yes. Okay, so lots of marriages and still together. Woohoo! My dad always wondered why I went into theater. And then when I met Jared, he was like, oh, I get it now. He's like, God brought her into theater to bring her to Jared, and so that's a good thing.
I have one other really quick, and then we'll see if the court before the court retreats. No pressure. So there'll be no Rita. And
Did you know this is really Adam Sandler? Convinced my children with that one, so I'm this one. First of all, I have to say thank you, God. Thank you for encouraging the love of theater, not only for myself, but for my children and for many, many people here that are here tonight and those that aren't here. I have learned many things on the stage, but I learned probably as many more off the stage. And so I was thinking about this today and thinking of something that I learned not to do on stage that gets a rise out of your director. And yeah, well, and so but I'm going to need a little help here. And so, Mr. Mason, can you sit in this chair, please? He usually is. He did this wonderful performance called Bottoms Up. I don't know, this was several years ago. And we had a couple of cast members. Some of you might be familiar with the name Lily Spears. And a couple of several other people. And we were always being kind of pranksters backstage during practice. And the first night of the show, people were in the backstage, and of course, we're supposed to be quiet back there. And, well, I walked around, I came off of the stage, and I walked around the corner back into the scene shot. And Willie is sitting in a chair, and one of the girls is going, and I went, holy smokes! And then I realized that was very loud, and everybody heard it outside. And I was like, ooh. Yeah, after the show, Doc was like, what on earth was that? But you don't understand what I saw. And she's like, well, just tell me. And I was like, but Doc, they were going. She's like, Rita, really? Yes. Lots of things that I learned today. So, keeping in mind with that, fun time I had here, I had this wonderful partner in that show. His name is Ty West. And I don't know if any of you got Ty. You may not Ty. Remember Ty? Ty was the bell player that we recruited for our show. And he and I had this wonderful little part in our thing. I'd come up then and sing it. Yeah, you guys have never seen a big person dance. Please see me dance. It's great. Had a great time. Anyway, the scene was that Ty had lost his wallet. Well, technically I stole it. And he's like, I lost my wallet. Well, every evening I would do something a little different to him, just to be on him. So on this very last night, we were in our scene, and he looked at me and he said, I lost my wallet. I lost my wallet. You lost your wallet? Yeah. Poor guy just about died. Doc and Deb were like, what was that? I was like, it just felt bad to him. We had a great time. Lots of great memories, and for that we appreciate everything that you guys got. We used to take such a great pleasure working with you. I actually sat on the committee that brought Kimberly Weast to us, and it's been a pleasure. It's been a pleasure working with you. And
Thank you for your patience for all the things I do wrong with Scottish.
The last thing that we have as far as from that era is it's almost a repeat, but not quite. Some of you may or may not know, but Doc's birthday is coming up. So Aaron has, dare I say, a treat.
Wow, thanks for that. Before I say anything else, I want to say that I am super lucky because I do get to use every single thing Doc taught me every single day of my life because I teach drama to pre-K through 8th graders, and right now my classroom is like full of styrofoam flats and a bunch of cat ears that 7th graders are building to put on 3rd graders. And I get to do for them what you did for me, and it's a really cool feeling. I'm not as good at it as she is, but maybe one day. So the last time I was in this room for tonight was when Dr. Joe Struckle retired. Oldsters will remember him. Yeah, that's us. And I was here that night, not like as an honored guest or anything, because truly the president of the university did not care that I came to his retirement party, except that That's not it. I'm sorry, that was Betty Boop. Birthday to you. Feel free to join me. Okay, the doc is the only person I'm really singing to you. Happy birthday, dear dog. Happy birthday to you. Okay, probably someone wants to take this from me. I don't have anything else prepared, but I could do a tap dance, and I have a song about laser cats.
I think we have some door prizes to finish out the evening, is that correct? But I'd like to just say thank you all for coming. And I think it's fair to say, both of these ladies, to coin a line from the musical Wicked, we've all been changed for the better because of you both. So thank you so much for coming.
Letter number 1 is last 3 digits. You have to wait, so choose. 382. 382 last. 357. 357. Rock and rolling. 357.
It's like all the buttons in a football game today. Nobody's coming.
Oh, there you go. All right. 490. 490. Oh, wait, there it is.
Oh, here.
Oh my God, please be careful.
Oh,
492. 492.
You're a big kid.
are we 492? Oh, okay.
Same table. I think it's rigged. 415. That was a no, but okay.
Are you 415? Oh, I told you!
Next class is on passion. 394. 394. 394.
Kimberly.
352. 352. Woo! There she's back. 361. Wow. That's good. And the last one is 508. That's a good friendship.
Thank you for coming tonight. Is Skeeter still here? No? Okay, he was. Up here you will find that there are some wonderful concept art pieces. The university is looking at very quickly starting the process of raising money to renovate Herod Hall. So again, I want to thank Linda for coming and allowing me to follow in your footsteps. You built a dynasty. I wasn't sure what I was going to do, but thank you very, very much. Thank you for all of you for coming tonight. Do come look at the concept art. It's going to be really cool. And I know that all of you will be pleased to someday come back and get to see it. Thank you to Valerie, Angela, Morgan, Chloe, Crosby, who did all the work on this. Now here is the one direction that I have for you. If you paid tonight, would you please take a pizza home? Because there are lots of pizzas back there, okay? And I'm very serious about that. Please take a pizza, okay? Put it in your freezer when you get home or something. Thank you again for coming, and Ride Rangers Ride.